Okay, everybody, it is time for an album review. In this case, it is Buck's Moonlight Revival. So I'm Dean Wolfe, this is Prog Dog. If you're new to the channel, we're focused on reviews and reactions and guitar lessons and lots of other content too. This is a concept album. Now, they were inspired, but let's start off with who's involved, okay? So the album was recorded on a cassette recorder in the living room of Caitlin and Eric. Caitlin Kinsella and Eric West. Now, Caitlin is the singer, and she adapted some poems by her grandfather. I think it was a grandfather, maybe her great-grandfather. Anyways, you can check out an interview with them there that we did. She adapted the lyrics based on her grandfather's songs or the poems that he wrote, and he was hoping that someone would make him into a song someday, and so she granted him that wish. They were inspired when they made this album by they even mentioned this Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, because that album, there's no gaps between songs. One side plays from start to finish. All the songs kind of have not filler between the songs. It's not really that. It's some of the transitions that go between songs are just as important as the album itself. So they were inspired by that. This album follows a similar kind of vein where you put on side one, it goes right into the end, and then you start side two. Again, it's just one continuous track, but there are several songs. And the ambient kind of things that are in there really are so organic to the album. Really, they took the great care. I mean, Eric mentioned, that this was not a hurried project, and he really wanted to make it right. He wanted to do it right, even though it's not digital. He's doing it all analog. He's using reel-to-reels and 8-track cassette, Tascam recorders, things like, I think it's a 488. It's called. Yeah, they even have their cat in the house. I have to remember if there was a purring or a cat noise, but what I'm getting at is they draw in the entire environment around them into the album. It's very... I take a deep breath because that's sort of like what this album, how it makes me feel. This album, I put this on and I feel like I can breathe a giant breath, like a bigger breath than you've ever taken in your whole life. This album just breathes. It's got the flowing, lilting, beautiful voice that Caitlin has as she sings those lyrics. And Eric doesn't sing, it's just Caitlin singing, so you have those female vocals going on here and there, not continuously. There's, like I say, there's lots of ambient sections, and a lot of work went into it, Eric said, as far as keys. He wanted to make sure the key of each song worked, so I imagined that the album kind of, sort of like building a little Lego house or something, like you'd have to realize, okay, well, the next song's going to be, that, and I'll try it in this key instead. I can just imagine the process must have been really interesting and memorable for him. What memories he must have for this album. And they're working on a new one already. So you can see the living room in here. You can see the cat. I'm a cat lover, so I love pictures of cats. I'm happy to see cats. I think there's pictures of maybe both of them when they're little. They must have known each other all their life, if that's maybe one of them or both of them. I don't know. Yeah, so what else can I say about this album? It's very relaxing. There's no drum machines and no percussion per se. The rhythm comes out in a natural way just through the songs being played. He uses baritone ukulele. He uses a fingerstyle guitar between long breaks of atmospherics, utilizing found sounds, backward tape meanderings. It's a self-titled album, as I mentioned. They're working on a new one already. I know Caitlin probably wants to have her own lyrics because she, adapted her grandfather or great-grandfather's lyrics. She probably wants to explore her own words, and so that's something we can look forward to the next album, perhaps. So, did I mention where they live? Yeah, Kingston, Ontario, Canada. So they're Canadian like me. Kingston's a great town. I've been there a few times. It's the home of a great Canadian band who I'm blanking out their name, which is absolutely ridiculous because they're like basically like the Rolling Stones of Canada. I'll just put it on the screen there. Sorry, that's my brain that does that sometimes. So the album needs to be enjoyed as a whole. That's how I discovered it. I discovered it on Bandcamp. I was looking up sort of lo-fi, I was interested in lo-fi stuff, and then this lo-fi concept album came up, and I just listened to over and over and over again. It's not really a singles album, you know. It's an album that just stands as a unit, as a whole, complete. Every song feels like it's under a tree. You know, there's a tree, and then all the roots. And maybe a bunch of trees are nearby each other, all the roots entangle. It has that organic feeling, that natural feeling. So if you're someone who loves some, at times it's stark, let's say that, stark, not dark, it's stark. I wouldn't say it's a dark album, actually. It's stark in the way that, you know, the Canadian winter could be. You know, a crisp, cold January day in northern Canada when there's, critters crawling around in the snow or whatever, and just the snow is crispy. And it has that kind of feel to it, a starkness at times. Yeah, I mean, there's just a relaxing simplicity to it. You can really breathe when you listen to this album. If you are somebody who's not feeling like you're taking a full breath, you're short of breath, I mean, quite literally, this album is quite literally a breath of fresh air. It feels so open and so, yeah, it makes you want to breathe deep. So I think that's covered my all my points. PROGDOG score is 4.5 out of 5 bones, which is a really high score because it really is a Canadian masterpiece. It is a new masterpiece for Canada, absolutely. Buck's Moonlight Revival. It's no less epic for its quietness and solitudinal aspects. It marks an exciting but calming start to this couple's musical career, and may it be long and may it prosper. I love these guys. Buck's Moonlight Revival, guys. Go check them out. Links are all below. That's it for this review. If you have a suggestion for an album you want me to review, please feel free to leave that comment below. And at the same time, I always like to plug now at the end of my videos, go to deanwolfe.bandcamp.com for my own music, or check out the playlist right there of some of my original videos and music that are not even on Bandcamp, exclusive to YouTube. So check them out. And we'll talk to you all later in the next review or next reaction. Spiraling out. It's Dean. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.